You know, really, at this point, John's wife is horrified. He was knocked down, and she has no idea what to think. John, though, is in pure shock mode. The announcers are just like, oh my gosh, they're in shock mode. The only person that isn't shocked is Kay. But even the announcers, knowing Kay's, history, is saying like, dude, what are you doing now? What monster have you brought to us now? And now while John is on the floor, on the canvas, man, the 4 counts up, he knows that his trainer's thinking like, listen, I told you not to throw in the towel no matter what. Man, that's going through his mind. He don't want to regret, John dying in this ring. But he made himself a promise that he will not throw in the towel no matter what. And as John is on the ground, he's thinking about that single punch that brought him there. And he's thinking, how did it get here? What happened? I couldn't see anything. And then he sees that you is actually the person that reached perfection. The very perfection that he's been trying to reach this entire time. And he gets a smile on his face. And he's saying that he wants more. And then when we get to the 7th and 8th count, we see that John gets back up to fight. Now, he is not the lightweight, the cruiserweight, or whatever way he's at, champion for no reason, okay? He's even brought Kay to surprisement, all right? Now, Yu has never knocked someone down and they got back up. So this is a newfound territory at this point. Even the referees know that this is a dangerous match. How that last punch, it should have been the end of it. But everybody is just too stunned to even stop this. And, John is like almost having an existential crisis. But the referee still asks him if he wants to continue the match. And John says he will be okay and he wants to continue. And he has this psychotic look in his eyes, man. And it is scary, man. It is scary. And he's trying to keep warning John, like, listen, man, you could die if you keep going on. And John's like, man, stop, let's keep going. And then you doing the same thing, man. He is about to go ham, man. And even though John is trying to say, I gotta focus so that it doesn't happen again, I gotta focus on my center of gravity, my muscle fibers, and remember that feeling. But in the end, I don't even think that's even gonna help him, because Yu has he's pretty much a psychopath. He has no emotions at this point, man. And he's gonna drop him once again with the same punch. And it's nothing that John can do. He does slip it. He does slip it to minimize the damage, but there's nothing you do to dodge it, And it's honestly pretty, oh my gosh. It's insane, dude. It's insane. This match it's not even a match. It's just a torture fest, man. And the towel should have been thrown in, but it's not. It's not, guys. And he's still hanging in there as a champion, but Yu is not stopping. And we see just the demonic aura that Yu is exhibiting. And it's making everyone's skin crawl, and this is beauty to John, this is beauty to John, just getting pummeled by this beast, no matter what, he's just, it doesn't matter, what's gonna happen to him. He thinks of it as beautiful. While everyone else sees a monster, he sees, a beautiful, perfect fighter. And then Yu is just looking down at him with his dead eyes. And then now he has John reflecting on what it means to be a human. How humans are full of errors, are clumsy. He never wanted to be like them. Just passing judgment, thinking that he was better than them even when he was a kid. But even now, he's thinking back on like simpler times, because he is still back on that canvas, But he's still trying to give up. He doesn't want to give up his dream of perfection, regardless of what it takes. And he's resolving himself to continue this match no matter what. He wants to transcend humans no matter what. So then we go into a backstory with John, where he's like looking at his father. His father is like, stressing over work, stressing over his relationships, and he's pitying his father. He's pitying his father. So I'm assuming his mother left him, and now he's thinking that, I'm gonna be better than that. But then his tenacity is actually maddening. And then the crowd is still shouting and screaming for the match. They don't care about John's health. The only person that cares about John's health is his wife at this point. Even his trainer is just too stunned to even do anything about it. And Kay is psychotic. He wants you to just end it. He doesn't care about the health of the other opponent. He just wants to just see madness. But then the referee had to stop. The referee literally put his body in the way to stop you. Saying that's the end of the first round. And the round was just ended just by luck. And Kay is still saying, listen, man, you're gonna go. You're gonna finish this match. But gosh, it's just a bloodbath, guys. And John's trainer wants him to give up. But he already knows. He already knows what John's gonna do. He's thinking about what even is life if you can't pursue your goal. What's the meaning in life that humans create? And he is just in his own trance, and his trainer's just screaming at him, John, John, John. And then John is just saying, I gotta prove my existence. And he said, don't even think about throwing in a towel, or he'll never forgive him, man. John wants to die in this ring. It is honestly terrifying, man. And his wife gotta just sit idly by and just watch. And just how his father lost everything, he remained calm. John is prepared to lose everything and remain calm. And he's saying how, regardless of how his father feels, he's acting, and he knows that he was going to be abandoned. But at this point, John already knew to remain calm no matter what, and that he won't be swept up by emotions, and he will pursue perfection no matter what. And in John's eyes, when he looks at you, he sees this demonic figure of perfection to his eyes. This overwhelming sense of fear and dread. And now he's going to try to step into the same world as you. And he is trying to dive deeper into being a monster. Dive deeper into that destructive power, that full force. But even his trainer is fully prepared to never be forgiven by John, because he cannot make his daughter a widow, regardless of if he's gonna be forgiven or not, and he must think about what's more meaningful things in life besides boxing, and that is his wife. And he's gonna leave his wife forever to become a monster. And then we see that right before he's about to go into attack, his wife is screaming, no, John, don't leave me, because she sees him turning into a monster in this match. She's saying she can't live without him. Don't leave him. Don't leave her. Don't leave us. And he wanted that. He wanted that deep down. And then the trump card, she's saying you're gonna be a dad soon. So she's pregnant, man. She's pregnant. And then it's opened up John's eyes. And he's asking himself, what have he done? What does he choose? He chose a monster over life. He chose death over life. And then now he's thinking back when he was a kid as to why he was crying. And he's asking if he lost his way. And now he has to choose death or life. He's finally come to terms that he's been a clumsy person. And we see that the match is over. John left the ring willingly, and pretty much he's saying, listen, that ring belongs to the person who's qualified, and that person is you. It isn't him anymore. And now the crowd thinks he's running away like Kasim did. But this is different. He's not running away. He's choosing life. And then now Kay, heated, pissed off, is calling John a bastard for giving up like this, for giving him the belt, giving you the belt like this. Kay wanted blood. Kay wanted death. He did not want his win to be spoiled this way. But you know what, Kay? Now that you don't get everything you want in life. So then we see you get handed the belt. He has no emotion. He doesn't care about it. But then we see that in those total 2 rounds and 11 seconds, that history was made. And then we see as John is in the recovery room, he's laying down, he's thinking about the match. He's asking Peter, he's asking his trainer, he's going to be a good father. And he says, of course you are. And then we see his wife come in, and then she's jumping on him, regardless of his fragile state. And we see that John Pierre's record ends with 39 total fights, 38 wins, and 1 loss. Amen.
Penny